man accused of killing UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson will be back in court this morning. Luigi Mangione's lawyers are asking the judge to exclude some evidence from his upcoming state trial, including Mangione's notebook, which prosecutors believe reveals a motive. Mangione has pleaded not guilty, and Drika Duncan is covering the hearing.
The 911 call made by a McDonald's employee is revealing new details about the day Luigi Mangione was arrested last December in Pennsylvania. The restaurant's manager could be heard telling dispatchers 6 customers had expressed concern and were suspicious of a man saying he looks like the CEO shooter from New York. Investigators say they discovered a notebook and 9mm handgun in Mangione's backpack, key evidence his defense team is asking the court to suppress. They argue police did not have a search warrant and failed to read Mangione his Miranda rights.
This could make or break the prosecution's case. It completes the picture of what was going on in Mangione's mind.
Prosecutors have said the notebook, which he allegedly used as his diary, included writings that express motive and his disdain for the health insurance industry. Mangione is facing second-degree murder charges in the killing of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson, who was shot on his walk to a business conference. Dozens of Mangione supporters gathered outside court yesterday, and his legal defense fund has raised more than $1 million. Defense attorney Mark Agnifilo.
And listen, man, we're fighting.
This is not even the trial, and there is obviously a lot of attention. People are intently watching every move that the government makes, both in his state case and his federal case.
You know, we spoke to a 25-year-old woman who was in the courtroom supporting Mangione. She says that she's there because she feels as though it's not controversial to want fair and equal rights for Mangione. A trial date still has yet to be set.
Boy. So we got to talk about the freaks and lunatics who are currently protesting on behalf of woke assassin Luigi Mangione, who is currently facing murder charges for assassinating Brian Thompson, the CEO of United, in cold blood in the middle of New York City last year. Okay, and I want to talk about this because I think that stories like this really show you how extreme the left has become, where they're openly celebrating assassins, right? Assassination culture is cool on the left, and these people will try to gaslight you to make you think that, oh, no. We're not violent. We're not the ones that celebrate domestic terrorism and political violence. No, it's the right-wingers, right? You have to worry about right-wingers and Trump supporters. While, again, these are the people who are openly celebrating the assassination of a major healthcare CEO, okay? This is what these people are doing, okay? And they're hoping that he can get off because the defense is currently making an argument that he wasn't read his Miranda rights before the police started questioning him, and therefore his constitutional rights were violated, and key pieces of evidence like the gun, the ammo, his diary, anything that he may have said during questioning, that should be thrown out as evidence. And again, that could determine the outcome of the case against him. It's kind of a big deal, especially considering how this guy is obviously guilty, right? He obviously committed that murder. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that, again, this guy is a cold-blooded murderer. But leftists are basically celebrating this, right? They're celebrating the idea that he could possibly get off as they scream, "Free Luigi."
Y'all remember Luigi? Free Lou? It may have worked, y'all, because the way his attorneys kicked the state's ass, and I ain't talking about just no natural kicking. I'm talking about an artificial AI ass kicking. And what was discovered yesterday. So y'all remember he was arrested at that McDonald's. He was in there eating his breakfast, minding his business because he's free. They come in and surround him. They go ahead and detain him, and they start questioning him. They start searching him, all without Mirandizing him, reading his rights, which means that anything he said to them should be suppressed. Also, when they went in that bag, y'all, they allegedly found a gun and his diary, supposedly with a confession. I don't believe it. I think they probably planted that there because this is NYPD. But anything that was found in that bag without a proper search warrant, suppressed. There was an officer on the scene that said, oh, maybe we should get a search warrant. And the other crooked officers was like, no, take him to the station without Mirandizing him. And his lawyers are so cold with it. They introduced still shots of all of them swarming him in the illegal search, seizure, and detainment. They knew that they were illegally searching him. Then when they take him to the station, you would think, oh, maybe I should Mirandize him. Oh, maybe I should get a search warrant. You know how long it took them fools to get a damn search warrant? 9 fucking hours later. Then somebody 9 hours later like, oh, maybe we should get a damn search warrant. Oh, you think? But at that point, it was a little too late because now y'all have arrested him without Mirandizing him. Y'all went and got that search warrant like it was retroactive. You can't retroact the damn search warrant. Once the defense hit them with that motion, now the government's talking about some, oh, they thought he had a bum, so that's the reason. No, objection. We don't fucking care. You violated his constitutional rights. Everything that y'all collected in that 9-hour time frame when y'all was violating his constitutional rights need to perish. So what this actually means is anytime you are a suspect and the police know it, they come, they find you, they search you, they surround you, they detain you, they put handcuffs around you. Anything you say that is not Mirandized, anything that is searched illegally without a search warrant cannot be used against you. That's essentially what's going on with Luigi. The NYPD fucked up. The government knew it because they had discovery. They knew it. They looked at the time of the search warrant. That's why I be talking about these white prosecutors that be up in there committing all kinds of prosecutorial misconduct. The first thing you're supposed to do is look at the fucking search warrants. You would have saw the damn time. And you would have looked at the time on the damn McDonald's fucking video. And the time that they said that they detained him on the report. Boom! It's right in your fucking eyes, government. So now they are scrambling trying to see if they can connect the dots in any other way. Because this evidence based on not only the federal rules of evidence, but the fucking Constitution means that they got to release it. It cannot be used. Luigi coming home. Luigi was trying to warn us about this fucked up ass healthcare. Free that man because NYPD, y'all fucked up.
Luigi Mangione continues to draw a following of passionate supporters and spark conversations online about the U.S. healthcare system. The article posted by Slate reads, quote, "The latest icon, how Luigi Mangione joined the pantheon of American folk heroes." And joining us live now is the author of that article, Elliot Gordon, a professor of history at Loyola University Chicago. Elliot, thanks for joining us. This case has garnered enormous attention on social media. Were you surprised by that? And can you talk about that reaction?
I was very surprised by it, and I still am surprised by it. I think the initial reaction I had was it came just a month after the presidential election, and healthcare was barely an issue during the campaigns. And from the reaction on social media, of course, it's a horrible, politically motivated murder in an era when we have a lot of political assassinations, attempted assassinations, and so on. But so many people spoke to the issue of medical care, of the private insurance companies, of being taken off of care, of not being given the proper insurance. And it became an enormous issue that had been completely unaddressed, really, during the presidential campaign. And it goes on now. I mean, the closing down of the government, the motivation was the cuts in Medicaid and in Obamacare and so on. It remains an ongoing issue in America.
Have we seen any other violent incidents or suspected criminals generate this kind of following?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Certainly, Jesse James has been mentioned in the West. The one that came to my mind immediately was John Dillinger during the Great Depression. The bank robber. He robbed a dozen banks for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Roughly a dozen people died in those events. But it was the context of the Great Depression when roughly 10,000 banks had closed their doors. There was no insurance back then. And people lost their savings. Businesses went bankrupt. Literally, Dillinger was seen by many people. There was a kind of balance, horror at the bloodiness of it, but at the same time, he's attacking the banks, and people were very, very angry at banks in 1933 and 1934.
In your article, you also describe how this case has really turned the conversation about healthcare into one of heroes and villains. Can you talk about that?
Well, it's almost inevitable that we tend to see things that way, partly because we have such a healthcare system it's been so complex to have a system similar to other industrialized countries. We just haven't done it. We spend an enormous amount of money for not particularly great care. So it's very, very controversial, and we don't seem to be able to advance very much. I mean, even Obamacare, which is a patchwork, it's very important for people, terribly important for people, but it's not a well put together plan in the sense that it works smoothly, easily. It's expensive, it's bulky. So it's an issue that politicians try to avoid. They don't want to talk about it too much. And at the same time, it's really an essential issue.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, I just want you guys to understand, just so that we're clear here, what's going on, okay? This is a state-level hearing in New York where the defense is trying to get key pieces of evidence thrown out, like, for example, the firearm that he used, the ammunition, the diary that he had, which basically is a confession that he, in fact, committed the murder, and some of the statements that he made while being questioned by police, because the defense is claiming that his rights were violated due to the fact that his backpack was searched without a warrant. This is what they're claiming. And they're saying that he wasn't read his Miranda rights before questioning. Okay, this is what they're claiming. And you have leftists basically celebrating this, thinking that this guy is about to get off. Now, I don't know what the judge is going to rule in regards to what's allowed to be used as evidence in court and what is not allowed to be used as evidence in court. All I know is that I'm hoping that the judge does not go for this because, again, this guy is obviously guilty. And we have to make an example out of this guy, right? He needs to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. He has a federal case and he has a state case. He has to be punished, okay? This guy needs to get the maximum punishment possible, because a message should be sent to these leftists who are currently celebrating assassination culture, right? They're normalizing assassination culture, and that is why this dude cannot get off, right? He cannot get off. If this dude gets off, that is going to open up the floodgates of these radical lunatics believing that, hey, yeah, this stuff is okay, right? In fact, you're the good guy, okay? If you participate in this type of stuff, and we can't live in a country like that. So, with that being said, I really want to talk about this video that is going viral featuring an immigrant woman who is a Luigi fan. She was one of these lunatics celebrating Luigi, right? AKA celebrating a political assassination. She has the Luigi hat on, the L hat, right? So she's a sycophant. And I want to react to it because she's claiming that she wants to leave the country over Trump fascism. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
What?
Amphibians against fascism.
Amphibians against fascism. I love that. That is creative.
I didn't make it. I can't take credit for making it, but I can take credit for making it popular.
Well, you're wearing it, so let's give you credit. Tell me about why you're out here, why you're passionate about this, what the flag means, all that.
Okay, so I'm kind of like multi. So I'm here with the frog because the frog is resistance, is a symbol of fighting back against fascism. So I'm here. I'm here to support Luigi because he's cute. But I'm also here because, but for him, I wasn't paying attention to what was happening in healthcare.
Is America such like envy that everybody wants to come here anymore?
Okay, so having been the immigrant that came here 38 years ago, I bought into American exceptionalism. I bought into American checks and balances. I bought into American democracy. I bought into separation of powers. I've been here for 38 years, and I cannot articulate how disappointed I am in we the people that we allow this to fall so easily. Having 38 years ago, because I bought into it, yes, I wanted to come here. 38 years later, after being here and realizing how it's more fast, it's more smokes and mirrors, I am ready to leave. I can't financially leave right now, but the first opportunity financially that I can get, I am leaving. And I'm leaving on principle because I feel that if I, as an immigrant, remain in a fascist country where America goes around the world, literally destabilizing other countries in the name of democracy, but we would sit here with a fascist in power. If I stay as an immigrant, I am rubber stamping it. I don't want to rubber stamp it.
Yeah. So I want you guys to understand just how ass backwards these extremists really are, okay? Because apparently Obamacare has been so bad that it has radicalized left-wing lunatics like this woman right here, who's a foreigner in this country, into believing that ideological assassinations are a good thing, right? Or are okay. Just like they believe that political assassinations, Charlie Kirk being assassinated, was a good thing, right? This is why left-wingers openly celebrated this. Now, the irony here is that these people are boohoo whining and crying about fascism and being against fascism as justification for political violence and assassinations, when these people apparently have never read a book about how assassinations are commonly used by fascists in order to get their way. And that's what these leftists don't seem to realize, which is that for as much as they want to boohoo whine and cry about fascism, they have a lot in common with fascists. Again, because fascists have historically used assassinations strategically to crush rival factions, to eliminate democratic opposition, to enforce ideological purity, right? Doesn't that sound very similar to these left-wingers who were celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Sounds pretty similar to these protesters who are basically hoping that an assassin gets off, right? So whether you're talking about, Hitler or Mussolini or whatever, right? Like, targeted killings are a core feature of fascist consolidation of power. And that's what these leftists ultimately want. They want a consolidation of power, and they're willing to celebrate assassinations and to glorify assassinations in order to get that, right? But then they'll run around and claim, oh, we're against fascism. But it seems to me that these people have a lot in common with fascists, right? A whole lot in common. So, in this situation, we have an immigrant woman who wants to leave. And I'm here to say, well, yeah, you should leave, right? If you really feel this way, then leave the United States of America, because I don't feel like we should have anybody here that is an immigrant that is openly celebrating assassinations in this country, right? If you're openly celebrating assassinations and you are an immigrant, then yeah, I think that you should leave, because I'm pretty sure that the country that this woman's from probably experienced a lot of assassinations, ideologically and politically motivated. And that's probably why she's here in the United States of America. And now she's turning around and essentially celebrating the same things that led to her leaving her country in the first place. But yet you want to come over here and try to pretend as if America's so bad, it's so terrible, it's been run by fascists, I need to leave. All right, then, well, leave then. Leave. Go. Because again, we shouldn't have people here who are celebrating assassinations, especially if you're an immigrant. Go. If you don't like this country, then leave. It's really simple. It's like Trump said, a lot of these people, they come over here and all they do is boohoo, whine, and cry. All they do is complain. And they talk about how they want to leave, but they don't go anywhere. If you want to leave, then leave. Don't come back, right? I think that's the easiest way to solve your problem. If you don't like living under fascist Trump, right? Which, by the way, if Trump was a fascist, okay, if he was a real fascist, I don't think that this would be allowed, right? That's the crazy part about it. She's claiming that she lives in a fascist country while at the same time being able to openly protest an assassin being brought to justice, right? That is what she's doing. She's openly celebrating an assassination in the street. She's using her free speech rights that are protected by our Constitution, and she's not being arrested. She's not being punished. The state is not going after her for it, but yet she's claiming that she lives in a fascist country. I'm just saying, it doesn't really make sense, but these people, again, are just not the brightest individuals, right? Evidenced by the fact that part of the reason why she's supporting Luigi, a.k.a. Supporting a murderer, well, he's cute, right? He's cute. He's good looking. So that is reason to support him. Again, we're not dealing with very high IQ individuals. We're just not. And this is what leftists and Democrats take advantage of. They take advantage of ignorance, right? And I think this interview was a great example of that. This woman is clearly not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And you can tell by her reasoning for why she's even supporting this guy in the first place. It really doesn't make sense. And again, if she feels the way that she feels about the United States of America, then it doesn't make sense for her to stay here. And once she gets her funds up, right, maybe she need to get a job. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be best for her to leave. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.